Hey, how do you spell this? That was the Licc. It's a melody line that's appeared in mostly jazz and bebop, but has also popped up in other genres such as rock, pop, and hip-hop. Not much is known about it, but the earliest recorded instance of it that we know of was in Igor Stravinsky's Firebird. Of course, the Licc has probably been around for a long while before that, and it was popularized with this video, which I'll link to you in the description, but outside of that, its history is a mystery. Again, here's the Licc that I showed at the beginning of this video. So, how do you spell it? Actually, there are two different ways. Number 1. Chord building. The notes of this melody are D, E, F, G, E, C, D. If you were to compress those, it would be C, D, E, F, and G. This melody, at least this version of this melody, this is the version that became a meme, is in D minor. The key signature for D minor has one flat in it, which is B flat, which cannot be interchanged with A sharp. Similarly, if we were to put this into D major, which has two sharps in its key signature, F sharp and C sharp, those cannot be interchanged with G flat and D flat. I didn't come up with those rules, they came about because of the circle of fifths, which you can look at right here. The key of D minor, which is also the key of F major, if you go from D to D, you have D, E, F, G, A, B flat, and C, and D again. But there is another method of spelling in music. Number 2. Musical cryptography. Musical cryptography is hiding messages in songs, and you can disguise each letter of your message with a note. Ever since humans realized that they can name notes that they create, they can name the sounds that they create, and apply letters to them, we've been able to do this. It all started with solfege, which you may know as do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, or do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, or sometimes do was represented with ut, ut. There's many different kinds of solfege, but that's the most popular version, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, or si. In this video, I'm going to be talking about two different methods of musical cryptography. The first method that I'm going to talk about in this video is the German method. As you can see on this chart, on the left side we have English letter names, and on the right side we have German letter names. For example, in the English scales we have A flat, in German is represented by AS. We have B, which is represented by H in German, for whatever reason. In English, we have D sharp and E flat, which are the same note. In German, we have D sharp, which is DIS, and E flat, which is ES. So how do you hide messages with the German method? Let's say I wanted to hide the message the Licc, spelled T-H-E-L-I-C-C. Unfortunately, with the German method, I don't have any options for hiding the message. First of all, in English solfege we have la, and here we also have la, but it's an A. In the English version, at least I could say L for la. We do have H, which is represented by B, so I have the H covered. We have E, which is E. L, here there's a la, but it's represented by A, so I can't really do L. I, there's no I, and C is C. So in the end, I can't even write the Licc, T-H-E-L-I-C-C, my message. I can't even write it with this code, the German method, because there's no la in German. For the L, there's no I, there's no T, there's a couple other things too. Of course I can just skip past those faulty characters, but that wouldn't be the Licc, would it? It would just be heck. The second method that I'm going to talk about is the one I like more. It's the French method. I'd like to add that the German method and the French method, just like with the Licc, we don't really know much about them. They just kind of came out of nowhere. There's no known history behind their origins. I don't have access to any professional databases where I can get more information, but at least according to my Google research, it all started with solfege, and then it broke into the French method and the German method, but we don't know where each of those came from and when and why. Anyway, I like the French method more than the German method because you can see immediately that it's a lot more open, it's a lot less restrictive. When you have notes in any scale, you use the letters A, B, C, D, E, F, G. You can add sharps, you can add flats, it doesn't matter, you're using those same 7 letters. And with the French method, you can hide messages in the disguise of each of those 7 letters. You can hide the letters H, O, and V with the note A, you can hide I, P, or W with the note B, and so on. So it's easy to encrypt messages. I'm going to try to encrypt the Licc, THELICC. Upon doing that, this is the melody that I create. This is what it sounds like. Honestly, not too bad for an encrypted message. I can tell that the French method is great at encrypting messages because it's really hard to decode what I just did. Of course, I know the message and you know the message is THELICC, which is the Licc. But to anybody else hearing the A, B, C, E, and F notes, it can be any of these letters. I have T, but it can also be M. I have H, but it can also be O or V. Things can get confusing and ugly really quickly. Check it out. Yes, that's the message that I was trying to hide. Good job, you found it. Now my goal is to see what potential messages are hiding behind the notes of the Licc, at least the most popular version that became a meme, D, E, F, G, E, C, D. On this chart, I've circled all the letters that can be represented by those notes, and we have many options of messages to hide. I don't see anything that makes sense, but if you can figure out a message to hide with these notes that makes sense, please leave a comment, because I would like to see what you've come up with. On a sort of side note, there was this guy named Arthur Honegger. He was a Swiss musician, and I probably mispronounced his name because he's Swiss, but anyway, his method of musical cryptography was kind of born from the French method. I say that his cryptography system has the ease of the French method with even more restrictions than the German method. The ease of the French method, there's so much variety. You can use all the letters of the alphabet except for W for some reason, but at the same time, you can only use exactly one specific note in one specific octave for each letter. For example, if I had a message that I was trying to hide with the letter C in it, like the Licc does, I can only use the note C in that one octave and only that one note. At the same time, if I had a message with the letter V in it, it's also represented by the note C, but it's up an octave. C is a lower octave, and V is up an octave. I know that sounds confusing, but my point is, it can do better. I mean, it worked for his purposes, and people used it, but personally, I don't like it. It's too restricted for me, sorry. Now, I would like to introduce my code. This was inspired by the French method of musical cryptography, and I call it the Amy code. This is a template chart of the Amy code. I have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L in the first row, M through X in the second row, and Y and Z in the third row. I have the alphabet split into 12, 12, and 2. The chromatic scale has 12 notes in it. C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, which can also be C, D flat, D, E flat, E, F, G flat, G, A flat, A, B flat, B. Either way, there's 12 notes. For this example, with the Amy code, I'm going to start with trying to decipher what the notes of the Licc say. So the notes of the Licc are D, E, F, G, and C. We're in D natural minor, which has D, E, F, G, A, B flat, and C. But in the Amy code, you start with D, and then you move on up the chromatic scale, D to D flat, which can also be C sharp. It doesn't really look like that we're still in the key of D minor, but I have an exercise that I want to show you after this, which explains why I do it this way. We have D, which can hide the letters A, M, or Y. We have E, which can hide the letters C and O, and so on. I figured out an answer of what the Licc spells. But before I show that to you, let's explore the Amy code a little more. I'm going to encrypt the message THELICC. The Licc. I'm going to start from D, and I'm going to go up to D flat, or C sharp. We have the letters T, H, E, L, I, and C. C appears twice. T and H are disguised by the note A, E is disguised by the note G flat, L is represented by D flat, I is represented by B flat, and C twice in a row is represented by the note E. This is what it sounds like. Honestly, not too bad for a melody line that's just hiding a message. Even though we're using the chromatic scale, we're still in D minor, and here's why. With this exercise, we can still be in D minor and use the chromatic scale at the same time. With THELICC, we have the notes A, G flat, that's THE, D flat, B flat, E, E, which is LICC. I tried to manipulate and combine these notes into chords that would make sense in the key of D minor, and this is what I came up with. have B flat minor, A7, G flat minor, C7 with a flat 9, D minor. I know this looks crazy because there are both flats and sharps in here. Outside of D natural minor, we also have D harmonic minor, which introduces C sharp. And I used that to my advantage, and I used C sharp in here, which I represented with C sharp and not D flat, because C sharp leads up to D. There's other videos that talk about this if you want to learn more, but for now, for the purposes of this video, I'm just going to say that C sharp leads up to D. When you look at the piano, C sharp, D, right next to each other. C sharp goes up to D, and it just sounds smooth. Anyway, if you look at the last two chords, we have the top note, which slides down smoothly to the next note on the top of the next chord, and then we have C sharp on the bottom, leads up to D, and then all the other notes in each chord lead smoothly to the next note of the next chord. That's called voice leading. Now, here's the moment that we've been waiting for. My answer to what the lick spells. Here we go. Yodroa. Yodrawa. Yodroa. I don't know how to pronounce it, but apparently this means yogurt or breakfast in the language Zulu. Sorry if that's kind of an underwhelming answer, but it's the answer that I have. I checked it out on a couple of websites and I back translated it, and it comes out from Zulu to English and English to Zulu as breakfast or yogurt. Online translators aren't perfect, and I found more failures than successes, but I'm just gonna say that the lick spells out yogurt. That's my answer. Hey everybody, my name is Vin. I'm the guy behind Favrion. My debut album came out on February 14th, 2020. You can find it here on YouTube, or you can head over to Bandcamp and check it out there. Either way, I have a link for you in the description if you're interested. I appreciate your interest in this video, and I hope to come out with a video talking about music theory or creative writing every month. I'm going to try to do the last Sunday of each month. A monthly schedule feels easy to keep up for me. The first video that was not music on this channel came out on the last Sunday of January 2020. It was talking about the recent update to the FTC law known as COPPA for YouTube and how it's going to affect music theory channels. But that came out on the first Sunday of January, so I figured, why not keep up a monthly schedule that seems easy to maintain? Anyway, I appreciate your interest in this video. I appreciate your interest in my music. I appreciate you as a person. You don't have to like this video, you don't have to subscribe to my channel even, but I would appreciate it if you could share this video or you could share my music to people who you think may be interested in it. Thank you very much, and I hope you have a good day. Bye.